Surprise, it's going to be Cabo Shard. 6-1-2 on Aurelia, 43% kill share. May not sound like a lot, but he had his moments.
Yeah, he had his moments, and that is what this game was all about. Just peak moves here. I think Mighty Bear was also in the running. It's just so hard to decide because it was a team effort. Vitality, they struggled in the early part of the game kind of to break away. Had a small lead at every single instance, but some of the key plays was Cabo Shard picking up some kills or buying some time.
Yeah, and honestly, things may have turned out different if Unicorns had been able to put that game away, but clearly you don't have your eyes on the prize, or in this case, eyes on your own base. You're going to lose
on the Baron.
And maybe too many eyes on that Baron.
Yeah, definitely need to keep an eye on it because it's so easy to sneak it. Every single mid game it happens. Like, yeah, pressure, changing, you know, left, right, oh, basing, and suddenly, poof, Baron disappears, especially with some of these Mountain Drakes being introduced into the game.
Yeah, that starts to definitely shuffle the priority up a little bit. For the Unicorns, you know, I don't want to go and overuse a phrase that doesn't really apply to the same team anymore, but we almost saw some chaos. I actually did see some chaos. Move was really making Vitality scared in those 5v5 situations, but they just weren't able to put it away. And there's a lot of work, a lot of question marks for this rebuilding squad.
I mean,
if
you're going to call it a chaos, it's a different kind of chaos. It's like they were looking for a deliberate pattern in the 1v1, and they had a game plan. The chaos aspect just came from them just not being able to execute it or capitalize on it. You know, the whole premise of a 1v1 is that you divide the map and then you kind of like, you fan out and you pincer in. You find somebody. But the Unicorns, all they did was fanning out. They never punished anywhere. They had no vision in between the lanes because Hylissang was just stuck in mid lane all the time. So we really have to question some of the vision controls here. Especially if you want to play such a dispersed style, you need more wards because otherwise you'll just be threatened too much by the fog of war that you leave in between those individual lanes.
Right, and for the pick and bans, the strategy, I'm curious to see if that changes because we saw such a jungle-heavy prioritization in the pick and ban phase, and it let things like the Rise through, but no Vladimir touch, as you said. Maybe that would have even been better. Exile, his Rise, early game obviously had some trouble that he always has, just getting caught out, not being able to do much. Even though late game, he still was starting to step up, it was kind of too little too late. Even when he had the perfect jump on a player like Police, he burned 2 summoners, yes, but he couldn't quite secure all the kills. They didn't get quick catches to give themselves a 5v4 and start. Yeah, really relied on just trying to take fights that could have been 50-50 anytime.
Yeah, definitely agree. They're very atypical 6.11 draft right there. Vladimir going through the end, the Rise somehow being open.
But we got Nami
first
pick.
5 junglers being banned, and then the early Nami rotation. Yep, into a face check. Yeah, different than what we expected. I don't mind a little shying away from the norm, shying away from the meta if it's done with a purpose and a goal. Let's see if that goal is still there for these teams as we head into Champs League.
Well, so far the Olaf is banned away. Everyone remembering Cabo Shard and how he was able to run wild on the Berserker, so that's once again removed. I somehow feel like we will see more junglers let through this time.
Yeah, maybe a few. Maybe they start targeting Nukeduck. Nukeduck historically has suffered from a small champion pool. Right now, there's just so many similar meta picks that he can play, and also shown mastery on his Lissandra too. Maybe bring it back.
Certainly had a big performance on that Victor. Elise is banned away. So far we still got 2 junglers off the board. Still plenty of time before we see if they decide to mix things up and move it towards the mid. Exile clearly not being given a lot of recognition in his rookie LCS split here. Had his hands on Rise and he wasn't that much of a threat.
I mean, Exile just exemplifies a rookie here. Just some decent fundamentals. But he's not quite LCS level just yet from what I've seen from him. So he would actually mostly do well with a year of like cultivating and growing his talents, maybe in the challenger scene, you know, looking to bridge the gap, because I think there's a pretty decent skill disparity between him and Nukeduck, especially when it comes to the more macro aspects of the mid lane, when we move out of the laning phase and positioning, setting up for fights, and especially like using split push to your advantage.
Yeah, and a lot of that comes from the experience disparity that there is as well. I mean, you could hardly find 2 mid laners that are further apart in LCS experience. The Shen is banned away, the Bard as well. This leaves the Rise up on the Unicorn side yet again, and they're thinking about this one.
Yeah, this time they can trade it for a Kindred though, if Mighty Bear wants to pick that up. He may just want to play tank junglers, both these teams. I don't want to do that. It's as Rek'Sai gets hovered here, so interesting.
And locked.
And locked.
Yeah, first pick up on the Rek'Sai will move, you know, in some of the games that they were able to, well, they weren't really able to get a whole lot done against Giants. They prioritized it, but he's going back towards it. Yeah,
Unicorn's very slow early game was a follow-up of that Kha'Zix pick. It's something we've seen happening to Fnatic as well. If you get to the early game and you utilize that Kha'Zix Kazakhs pick up well in the mid game, you can reap the benefits. But early game, if you're struggling and you want to kind of tilt the matchup into anybody's favor, you need to be able to interfere and gank. Rek'Sai can definitely do that from even unpredictable movements and pathways, as opposed to a Kazakhs who is forced to farm a jungler often at a slower tempo than his counterpart, so just hampering and damaging your early game.
And they do opt, as you predicted, to go a little bit more tanky route with Kindred left available. Mighty Bear instead takes the Gragas. And they put Cabo Shard onto the Aurelia. So once again, showing the shift that we've seen in the meta since MSI 6.8 and all that. It's all history at this point.
Yeah, there's no need to pick Kindred early here. You can just get your picks as well. No need, not to be afraid of the enemy picking it, because Rek'Sai's locked in. You can just match tank for tank. I think Mighty Bear performs much better on tanks than he does on carry junglers, because it gives him a little leeway. He was not hesitant of engaging. And wow, the Jhin Hover.
Ooh, and it's locked. Veritas,
bold.
it's a bold move for sure. They take themselves a Rise as well. This is starting to shape up to be an interesting composition.
I mean, if you're Cabashard and Mighty Bear, you're happy here, no? You're playing Aurelia Gragas as a backline threat combo into two stationary damage dealers. Both the AD carry and what presumably will be the mid laner here are very lackadaisical when it comes to gap closers, because they don't have a single one, so they'll need some peel. What is Unicorns going to draft to kind of fix this bullet hole?
That is going to be the question. Well, it'll be whatever falls into Chachi or Hylissang's pickup, and Police opts to take the Ashe this time.
I like it.
Little bit of long range to match up with the Jhin.
Zyra's open too. If these guys have mastered her, could be good here. Definitely maybe want some forward aggression though. I can see the value in the Karma pick. I actually like it more than Zyra in this instance, because a Mantra AoE shield on this entire lineup, you send out arrow, AoE Mantra shield, you charge forward, hang in. Police will need to take care of himself a little bit, but with good positioning, he doesn't even need to enter the fight that much.
Yeah, and they've got a lot of disruption. There's a lot of threat in the front line. Gragas trying to knock an isolated target. You've got the Aurelia as well. Unicorns, they have a lot of questions to answer as the last seconds will tick away on their rotation. Still, really rough situation to be in. If they go down 2-0 in this series, only having won one series on the entirety of the split in their first 3 weeks in the LCS, it just looks rougher and rougher for them. And we've seen them think about this Alawi. The Zyra is actually what they pick up to pair with the Jhin. Alawi's locked for Chachi, but...
Yeah. Is there a really good curveball? It's a good curveball, because you want disengage, right? And you want something that can reset the fight. And instead of going for the Janna that resets with no damage, you have a Zyra, who is essentially a secondary AP carry. Very often does she do more damage than jungle, even top laners out there. And then you have Alawi that can work with that. So right now, when Mighty Bear and Cabochard dive into the backline, all it takes is the ulti from Hylissang to kind of disincentivize anybody else from following up. And then they pick a target and they burn it down with the Alawi ulti. And that is still a combo where they can make it out if Visichachi uses ultimate at the same time when Move is buying time in the front line. So that's what you want to look for if you are the Unicorn. So don't be mistaken here. This Zyra pick can change the entire scope of some of these fights.
That is indeed a good point. A lot of players have been finding out firsthand how much damage Zyra can really deal. And
it's disgusting.
Although Chachi has not necessarily made like his laning presence very known on this Alawi, with a couple of early gameplays aside, it also disincentivizes that dive into the backline. You can do so much work when people have to run into your choke point. Last pickup, and we know he always hovers it because he actually gets to lock in the Zillion, giving it to Nukta.
Super smart pickup here. Not only does Zillion do well into Ryze, because Ryze is so short range and telegraphed in his movements once he wants to trade. Once he goes WQ, he's very stationary. You can also speed up some of these assassin teammates, like the Gragas for an accelerated engage, or the Aurelia just for turbo assassin mode going in. As well as you counteract the entire premise of this ultimate, because nobody dies here on the Alawi ultimate. I wonder if actually the ultimate effect still fully triggers if you get revived. I doubt it does, so I think it's a good counter pick here.
We might just get to find out, Krepa. Yeah. Well, Unicorns, they put their eggs into some comfort baskets, but there is a lot of power there. There is a lot of anti-engage. I won't say disengage, but anti-engage. And in the backline, if Veritas can stay safe, he can start throwing out the big, big bullets. Unicorns trying for their win to tie this series up against Vitality. Vitality going for their first 2-0 as Shans walks off stage. The last time shaking hands with Sheepy, and this one just got real interesting.
It definitely did, especially in terms of Snowball. If Unicorns with their creative draft fall behind once though, it is
Lights out.
Yeah, lights out. They're gonna
Well,
go down because
you
the snowball
guys-
potential of this lineup from Vitality is definitely there.
If you guys think that's going to happen, hashtag VIT win. Will they take their first 2-0 on the split? Or will the Unicorns of Love claw their way back and get their first win since taking down Origin? Hashtag UOL win is that one as the players were getting ready on stage to load up.
Yeah, we dimmed the
Second
lights.
time, these two teams, we have to set the stage, set the mood, or it could be an epic clash. Two
Sally.
teams at the bottom of the table trying to fight out.
Yeah, not a candlelight dinner here. More so brutality on the Rift. 5 guys on each team looking to destroy each other, take away their hopes and dreams.
It's just good old-fashioned League of Legends, Crepo,
Love it.
as it was in Elder Days.
Elder Days. Back in
You know all about
2011.
Elder Days.
2010, actually, I guess.
Yep.
I think that's
But
when my
we're-
first account was made.
We're in a new era, season 6, and we've got Ashe Zyra bot lane. We've got a Lowy top.
Well, we got Ashe on one side, Zyra on the other.
Yeah.
It's very oppressive to have Ashe Zyra. If there's one thing I don't wish upon many of my enemies, it is actually having to lane against Ashe Zyra. Because, and this is the salt, you know, this is the sulky salt coming out. It's just, their laning pattern is so easy to execute. It literally is poke, 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 and then you suffer. So this Zyra Jhin lane is even more interesting because the random plants that spawn all apply damage, which allow Veritas to just press W. If he hits it, the trade is enormous, and then you can actually follow up with the snare from Hillsang. Because look at what they can do. Q on one of these plants spawns a Thorn Spitter, I think they're called. Just a plant. Let's call it a plant. It attacks somebody, tags them. Then Veritas does W on when police go for a CS, for example. Then Hillsang goes for the snare combo, and they just drop dead.
Not only that, they got Jhin traps too.
Yep.
Police and Kasing are going to have to double step just to try to get out of a minefield, but they're opting right now
Yeah.
for this lane swap, and I think that makes a lot of sense just to not deal with the headache.
Not only that, it also puts Cabochard down in the dumpster here. He's playing the lane swap, as well as just like, if you want to have a laning pattern against the Zyra, all these plants can block skill shots. These plants can block, I think, volley procs here. You can take care of some shots here from Karma Q's too right now. This doesn't really matter, this damage that Cabochard is taking. It's completely irrelevant. The part here is that he got 2 CS worth of experience, whereas his lane counterpart, Vizichachi, did not.
Crucially to start things off. So move. Shakes his way into the jungle to take away the enemy Gromp, and we just start to see the makings of the 3v0 that we expect. Cabochard actually hanging back out at tier 2. Teleporting a little bit late. Instead of backing away, he just immediately teleports, so he'll be able to soak up that bit of gold for himself. Things just keep on swapping back and forth, and this is where we expect things to be a little bit more easier to predict, but once we get into the nitty-gritty of both the teams fighting each other out, that's going to be curious.
Yeah, and that little tower shot right there, and you'll see it soon again. Zyra really good at the AoE here. Vitality doing a horrendously bad job at tanking the creeps themselves, so their lane swap execution is rather poor here, because you always want to let the champions tank the creeps and bunch them up for AoE. But every time he spawns a plant in here, once the tower shifts, the tower is actually going to attack one of the plants. This wasn't coincided very well with the tower dying, so Hillsang can definitely improve his Zyra play here, but the point is, every time you spawn a plant, the tower will attack it, which keeps your minions alive longer. So not only do you have an AoE champion and a lane swap, you have some additional turret shots to work with, so Zyra speeds up lane swap.
And we saw, at the end of the day, they actually just about bang on even, and we'll get back into your regularly scheduled choices for masteries. All the same, execution not quite there, but at the very least they had the potential to go a little bit further forward. Mountain Drake is the first one on the field. There'll still be some time before that can come out, and definitely let's zero in a bit on this Zilean pickup, because he's got himself the Deathfire touch.
That's very interesting, not going for the standard Thunderlords, where you just do bomb auto, Thunderlords poke.
Hoping he can get himself a little bit more burnout on those clock bombs. Exile, not the strongest showing out of him on Rise in game number 1, but this time he may not have quite as much pressure. Veritas and Chachi have actually moved up towards this top side to try and push back Cabo, so there should be the back away for the duo lane as they take their places back in bottom. Or maybe not, maybe they just try to go for the reverse push. Looks like that's the case.
Yeah, Cabo going for the greedy. Let's soak up some experience against this Ashe Zyra here. Vizichachi saying, nope, 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 not gonna happen. You teleported once, I can do it too. And phase 2 of the lane swap is being accelerated here by the Unicorns. They make use of tanking the creeps and spawning those plants, because if they do this quick enough, they can actually contest the dragon that Vitality want to start after they take down boss tier 1 because Cabochard is simply so late. Look at all the AoE here. You want to use all these spells on the creatures and you yourself hit the tower.
We keep at it. Now, Vitality's dual lane have only just gotten to the tower. They're way behind the 8-ball on this one. 5 minutes in, this is going to be big. Plants are tanking the tower, so Hylissang's learned his lesson on that, or at least has improved his execution. And this is going to mean a big advantage for Unicorns of Love.
Yeah, they want to get the hell out of dodge here and see if they can find their way back to the dragon. Look at the difference here in speed. Obviously, speed comes at a cost usually, so we need to see if there's an advantage somewhere in gold or CS, but it does seem that things are very even. Veritas slightly behind Police here. Is actually slightly ahead of his lane opponent, Cabochard. And Unicorns, they don't really lose anything from being on the wrong side of the map because they can contest this dragon start.
Cabochard and Kasing, still trying to finish the job. They've actually left Kasing to stay a little bit longer.
Is he going to steal the gold?
Yeah.
Oh, good
trying
support.
to deny those minion waves, but Veritas and Hylissang are nearly there. They're actually still hanging pretty strong. Mighty Bear's low on health, and they turn their attention to him. But it's not going to be enough damage. Veritas is going to have to burn his flash, and Cabo, Blade Church, Summoner Heal, not enough. First blood over to Police.
Yeah, Veritas, really good opening, but just be happy with the scraps that you get. Don't go chasing for more. You're still 4 versus 2, and your top laner just TP'd and is freezing a top wave. So this is really, again, playing in a vacuum, reacting to what's on screen without keeping the bigger picture in mind here. Over-aggression. And he pays the price.
Tunnel vision. Mighty Bear stepping
So right here,
forward here.
Rush was clean. They see face check from Mighty Bear. Really good flash by Mighty Bear. And then obviously Kasing flashes too, I think, to extend the chain here. And then Cabochard spots that window of opportunity, goes in and secures the kill. So a lot of flashes here. 4 flashes expended on that kill by Vitality. But Veritas, really, really big misstep here.
Yep. There's maybe a small window for Unicorns to try and push their weight around and set up for the Dragon. Very, very early, though. It's unlikely since Vitality are already back in position.
Because look at where it left us. We had Visage actually freezing on the top wave. This tempo advantage.
Uh-oh, Nuke Duck, he's got up, but
It's fine, he's got ulti. This tempo
Okay.
advantage was used to accelerate top lane farm. The quicker you do lane swap, generally, the better your top laner will be, because at the end of the lane swap phase, he'll be the one that's freezing first. So if that phase played out slightly differently, Visage would have an even bigger lead here on Cabochard. Went to base and go back. Nuke Duck using one of his teleports to the mid lane. And Unicorns taking control of this dragon even after Veritas dropped. So, in control of the early game, I would say, Unicorns.
some mistakes, but they had got the tempo advantage after doing a little faster. So Mountain Dragon is taken down. The next to spawn will be Ocean, but that is some time away.
6 minutes.
Shot. Yes, exactly. Well, not anymore. Now it's like 5:40, but who's counting, right?
Somebody is, I hope. The
We'll let the
internal
game take
game
care of
clock.
it.
Yeah.
Chachi's leading the big wave of minions in. Test of Spirit. On to Cabochard.
Run, Cabo, run.
And he's going to have to deal with tentacles for a few seconds.
Those are so annoying to deal with, by the way.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to base here. Hang on,
Oh,
Hylissang.
of annoying. Hylissang checks right into the Mighty Bear. Big pickup on that
Oh,
kill,
Nuke
but
Duck saved it.
Chrono Shift saves his life, and he's going to be able to pop out. He'll get his soul grabbed, but he makes it out alive at the very least in body, if not spirit.
Run, Mighty Bear. I really like the
That's
animation on
target.
this, though. It's so annoying, because he wants to base right now. He needs to run away. That was a really good reaction there. Zyra is extraordinarily good at disengaging, but she gets caught so easily. That's why many of these like LeBlanc montages or Fizz montages is basically mid laners killing Zyras, because she goes down so easily. It's one of the hard things. There's actually a couple players on European server. Just mention Nigel to anybody on EU Challenger. The guy goes like 0 and 20 on Zyra, and he will still deal absurd amount of damage because there's so much damage built into this kit, even as a support, especially with the old passive. I'm glad he got removed right now because he was optimizing for a 2 damage passive. That was his playstyle. People call it feeding. He just creative use of his passive. Sadly, no longer available, so he needs to shift the style to a little bit more safe approach.
Yeah, that's those of you who really like the cinematics. A New Dawn does not tell you how much damage Zyra deals.
No.
So have to learn a little bit more through playing the game yourselves. In goes Move towards the Dragon Pit. It's not a farm alarm. There's nothing for him to take right there, but he does work his way into the enemy jungle. Spotted on a ward. Meanwhile, Kasing has pushed his way in as well. So both teams looking to try and trade towers, or rather trade pressure around the map. And look for tower damage, but there's a lot of defense.
Yeah, and look at his long lanes too. Police is constantly on the lookout for an arrow.
Oh, Chachi. Goes ulti. Is that going to be enough? I don't think so. Maybe. Cabo.
You have to be so wary of an Illaoi once you get into close quarters, because she can turn around any fight with her ultimate later in the game. Look at the AoE wave clear here, though. The Zyra Jhin combo. Supporting quite the amount of wave clear here.
Plants and grenades, man. All right, there's a lot of damage, a lot of explosions going on. Here comes the Ashe arrow out. First of the game, not going to connect on anybody, unfortunately, unless...
The optimistic cross-map arrow. Just to send a
Sometimes
message.
you just get lucky.
Hey, could deny LCS, you know, it's the little things.
Yeah. Now it's going to be Rift Herald started by Vitality here. See what they can get out of it. Give themselves a little bit more power. No top laner here, actually, so not even that optimal, and it's going to be contested, so they have to back off.
Yeah, that second pickup got Vitality a lot of momentum here. They're now leading with nearly 2,000 gold here in the early game. Really taking big farm advantages. Cabochard managed to deny a lot of CS of Vizichachi, so that early misstep from the Unicorns is really starting to kind of trickle through here.
Speaking of missteps, move. Didn't realize he was going to have more than Sing to contend with. So everything's settled into, I don't want to say normalcy, because there's a lot of wacky plays going on around the map, but at least the teams are attempting to lane.
Yeah, the map is open. A lot of tier 1s down. There's a 1v1 battle in the top lane, in the bot lane rather, going on that is being handedly won by Cabochard right now.
Yeah, but as you said, the Chachi comeback is always a potential there. Still, Cabochard, if he can get the execution on his massive CS differential, just waiting on the power spike from his Trinity Force, and should have enough gold for it soon enough. Actually taking a look at the gold in this game, you know, he's pretty darn close to being able to finish off the last piece there.
Police.
He's not going to go back until he can maybe get a pick off or at least force the Illaoi back. There he goes.
He's going back. He's going to spend that right now. Police recharging too. Next arrow available. Can they make use of it? Because that is one advantage here in the combo. Arrow into double bomb. Cabochard going in. You know, speed up from Karma. That's what they want to do. Make a pick with this Ashe. Ashe is always involved in pick compositions.
If they can get a catch out, if they can find somebody that's meant to be safe on the back line, if it's Hylissang, if it's Veritas, they can stop the UOL aggression before it starts.
And I really like these handoffs that Vitality are doing. So they're funneling farm into Cabochard. Because look, this wave that Police was clearing out earlier. So we see Exile forced to flash on our face check.
Positional awareness.
That wave is continuously handed over to Cabochard because they don't want the Aurelia to walk into the long frozen lane in the bot lane. So Vitality, when somebody's freezing at the other side of the map, their cross-map move is just to bunch up and look for picks here, just like on Hylissang.
Yep, and they get the arrow, they get the knockback, and Hylissang's melted.
Yeah, instantly gets bopped here. You can't go to near any brushes until somebody gets revealed on the bot side of the map. Simply too easy for Vitality to group. And they capitalize on their numbers advantage and, yeah, compositional superiority here in the mid game with vision control.
First, Exile lost his flash, then Hylissang lost his life without really being able to do much in answer. You can see a lot of investment in pink wards on the side of Unicorns. They realize very latent threat.
And look right now, they're just switching Cabochard back to the bottom. So they just send him tops, like, you know, keep farming, we'll use Police to do something on the map here, make use of him, while this long lane that was all the way at tier 2 in the bottom lane is now being pushed up to the other tier 2 tower, and now Vizichachi is getting punished.
Yeah.
Map moves from Vitality.
He does do a lot of damage to Cabochard, but he tags in to Mighty Bear and Chachi, the long-range tentacle.
Slapped by a tentacle. That's one way to go down.
So, how about that 1v1?
Mighty Bear also came in with the body slam whiffing. I think he tried to body slam the ghost of his top laner. It's like, that's for taking my jungle CS.
Yeah, unlucky. That's really what ended up killing Cabochard. Those plants doing a lot of damage. This opens up a moment for Unicorns to start themselves an Ocean Drake. They've already got the mountain regeneration. It's still pretty early on, so this could definitely give a big benefit to them. But Vitality aren't too keen on giving it up, and they actually force the Unicorns back. Police is coming in. The rest of the team, yeah, this is going to be quite easy.
Yeah, always the looming threat of that Ashe arrow. You have to respect when you're doing objectives. Because this is something we often talk about in many series, you know, predictable movement. You're standing still hitting a dragon, it's going to be quite easy to land the arrow here. Cabochard is engaging this player. Look at how quickly this swings around. That's the ghost coming out, ultimate gets popped down, and then finish off. I actually want to see what happens in the bottom part here. If the ghost is finished off by Cabochard or not. So, but Mighty Bear's body slam whiffing there is actually a big part into why Cabo died.
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. Kind of anti-synergy on the back of it. Mighty Bear just not able to save his laner. And Cabo's having a much harder time than it looked like in the last game. There's still plenty of game to play out, though. We're only approaching the 15-minute mark, and there's only a dragon apiece. And speaking of dragons, it may stay that way. Our Cloud Drake is next up. Flat movement speed, but that'll be a long time in coming. Exile waiting in the brush, seeing if he can get a catch on Cabo Shard himself.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to do this, Exile.
I don't think so.
Well, maybe.
Hey man, Alawi can do it, I can do it too. Move is going to find himself a pink ward, but he'll also find the Mighty Bear. Whiffs another body slam, and there are a lot of Zyra plants there. Throws the big barrel, he really wants to take this, but Police and Nukeduck just weren't quite there to help punish.
Yeah, move waiting through the jungle. Right there, trying to get Mighty Bear. Yeah, we need some better aiming with the belly here. Let's see how good this aim is here from the Jhin.
Flashes, knockups galore. They're looking for even more in the back. The Jhin Police. He's not going down just yet, rather saved by Nukeduck, but they finish him off a second time. No problemo.
Oh, cheeky little sidestep there from Nukeduck at the end. Zyra preemptively ulti. Not sure if that was worth it on Police for that knockup. It was zoned to help prevent other members of Vitality moving in here. One bomb on Cabo Shard. He was going to flash in. Oh, that would have been so dope if he actually just delivers the bomb with a flash Q, but he was too scared of somebody who was around him.
That is unfortunate. Let's see this play once again. All started with the teleport into the brush, and
yeah,
then
double TP. One on the right side, one on the left side here. Again, signature move from the Unicorns here. But all they get for it is Police delay. Let's see if the Zyra ulti was needed. Yeah, because Cabo Shard and Mighty Bear are zoned out, so definitely agree with using it in hindsight. Double bunkers out, Nukeduck sidesteps. Overall, decently played by both sides here, but the advantage came from Unicorns spending both teleports, however.
Yep. Well, not worried about contesting too much. It's only 16 minutes. There's no Baron available. No one's going to care. Cloud Drake's not even up yet, and Police finds himself Exile, who will take a nice little kill.
Yep.
Just a little bit of damage back. Gives the handicap to Police.
Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of a Rise on the side lane here, but that's another dead Hylissang.
Yeah, that was very New Dawn. That's about as much health as Zyra has. Hylissang. So 1-for-1 punishment, but this time it was a lot of Vitality members bringing the pain to Hilly. Veritas free farming back in the mid. He's going to meet up with Mighty Bear and that's turn around. Now Nukeduck finds Exile, who hung around here. There's an ultimate available. Exile's going to force it. See if we can get enough damage. Goes for the dive, actually. Flashes in.
Well played by Exile.
Starting to roll on this Rise, and he even dodges the arrow.
So really good picks here on the side lane, finally marking his territory and actually having an influence. This is what he tried to do on Yasuo. This is what he tried to do last game as well, but just couldn't quite leave his mark. Now finds two stray members of Vitality that honestly are disrespecting with their map movements. Vitality looking for a flank here. Hey, Hylissang.
Walks right into that bush.
Pop, pop.
Goes the barrel, and that's going to be another pickup. Vitality looking to move in now.
And this is why, this is why we call Zyra a disengaged support, because you don't want to engage. Her engage travels very slowly, and you have to walk up to engage. It's not what you want to do.
Yeah, if you don't disengage, you die. So that's really all anyone ever sees her doing.
Yep.
And Test of Spirit there, not going to be finished the job. Chachi and Veritas still pushing out, still clearing away, but they put the fear into Vitality, even though they paid with Hylissang's life. 0-4-1, he's having a hard time on the Zyra pick, but it's not without its merits. He's definitely had some big plays already.
Yeah, some, but not enough to warrant 4 deaths here. Definitely getting used to the Zyra pickup. That's once these champions that have a very unique approach to the game get brought into the meta because they're simply just overtuned or just happen to be really be a good puzzle piece into the kind of the meta puzzle. Some people just falter when they play them. That's why it sometimes doesn't come out. We've seen it when Zillion support was present at Worlds as well. You know, some players just refused to pick him up and had to spend every single ban, both blue and purple side, on banning out that Zillion, because Zyra is quite a different approach to supporting as opposed to many archetypes.
Very true. You know, it's hard to see someone stepping a little out of the comfort zone. And, you know, even though Hylissang, a lot of experience on his side, it's hard to play this very, very squishy champion when there's so much engage and so much catch potential. But they're not doing themselves any favors stepping into the bushes. They just don't have the vision. Even though they've invested in a lot of pink wards, they're not able to really keep it.
I mean, his defense, they were up in map members. Look at how many random plants this guy is spawning with his passive. At 1 Q spawns 4 plants. It's just...
It's a hell of a garden. Hey, do they have enough time to finish off the Rift Herald? We're about to find out. 30 seconds on the game clock. Let's take a look.
Yeah, race against time.
Yeah. It's a race against Baron taking his house back. Might just have it, see if they can get it at the very last second. Mighty Bear's had a lot of the kills this game, so maybe they give this one over to him. Actually, Cabochard in the area, he might be the one that they want to give it to. Last second, and it looks like it is, in fact, going to be given to Mighty Bear.
Yeah, Mighty Bear picks it up then. Visit Chachi right here, whacking away on this turret.
That's the price they pay for taking Herald. Another tower knocked down, that's 3-2 in favor of the Unicorns of Love right now. And, you know, speaking...
No, it was actually Cabochard.
Oh,
I just
okay.
went double check.
I got
Cabochard picked it up. Got juked, man. That's what these pro players do very well. Sometimes they juke all of us, including the casters. Luckily, we have instant replay.
Totally expected, or unexpected. The Cloud Drake taken away at 20 minutes as well. Unicorns, it's free objective. Why not? We're just going to go ahead and grab it. A little bit of extra move speed available, and we'll see what comes up next, of course. So, Vitality for the time being, trying to rustle control back of their side of the bottom side of the map. Keep the clear out of the waves.
And look at some progression this team has made. Mighty Bear is finally finding his footing here in the LCS. Very lackluster week 1 and 2. Couldn't find his groove. But right now on this Gragas pickup, 3-0 in 1, and an essential part of a lot of engages.
Yeah, it definitely speaks to the merit of them focusing on the tank jungler and trying to put a more carry-oriented top lane, speaking to Cabochard's strengths. Mighty Bear does face a test of spirit. He's still going to be able to walk away from it. For now...
I just love Ilawi's animations. They all look so unique and fluid. Just like whenever you walk out of the test of spirit, it's floop, follows you.
Ah, tentacles!
Yep.
Mighty Bear don't care.
Nope. Just got his barrel in the air. Just don't care.
Chachi, he wants to find another yank, but he will not get it here. The plants keep on spawning, the traps keep on placing. Veritas Hylissang just being a very big nuisance in this mid lane right now.
Yeah, these Jin traps you can actually disable and reveal with sweepers. So if you're wary of walking into them, just pop your sweeper in the middle of a fight. 3 hits and they're down. Zyra plants, just walk on them, very important. A lot of people in their minds have like, okay, Zyra seed's bad because they spawn plants, but actually the counter to them is literally walking on them before Zyra can pop them. Very often overlooked.
That is assuming you're safe enough to walk on them,
Yeah.
right? You might get yanked by Alawi, you might get jumped on by Ryze. I mean, there's so many threats on this Unicorn side right now. And kudos to them for, they're not doing, you know, they're not trying to straight up find the 5v5s. It's obviously a different comp for them than it was from the last game. But they're making the Jhin, they're making the Ryze not really an option to go after because they have to defend in the mid lane. They have to try and hit that front line. And it means the squishies, except for Hylissang.
They need to liberate police to really find these engages. Vitality. Maybe Mighty Bear can find another E-Flash here. But if you look at the death counts, the only target that they really spotted out there in the side lane was Veritas. Other than that, it's just been a face check galore here by Hylissang. But right now, Exile is the one that gets knocked in. Kasing's here, looking for the snare.
Throws the leash. They got it. And Mighty Bear, do they have enough damage is the question. Mighty Bear very low, and Exile has a shield on. The Alawi nabs Mighty Bear, and the rest of Vitality have come. The Cavalry's here. And they'll just try to go away and force the disengage. They don't have a Gragas ultimate available anymore.
Hylissang is kind of face checking on his own on the side. You can't be an aggressive factor in these fights if you're Zyra. You have to yield that. Your role is disengage. That's why we see the pairing so often, Ashe and Zyra, because one part is engaged with the yin to the yang, which is the counter engage of Zyra. Always want to have some offensive prowess when you're playing any Zyra plus X lanes.
Zen of bot lane. Crap, you really should write a book one of these days.
Yeah, how to do Krugs properly.
Only the first chapter. 51 ways to do Krugs.
Welcome to bot lane. Bot lane 101. This book is 51 pages long. First 50 are in Krugs.
Yep. Unicorns. Well, they definitely didn't have too bad a start for themselves, despite some of the scores that Hylissang was putting up. And so much sewn away. They've even bought some time on this mid right now.
Oh, the Cabo flanker shard.
To get done.
Bottom of your screen, observers.
Finds Veritas. There's the heal. Move is going to body block, but not long enough. Cabochard does what he does best. And finding a quick pickup. The Ashe arrow comes in. Can they force this fight? Knocking move right into them. The Zyra ult was there, but a double kill comes in for Cabochard. Even more now as the Mighty Bear gets a 2-man knockup. Shut down by Exile. The Unicorns are fighting back tenaciously, but it is not enough. A triple kill for the Aurelia and a massive fight for Vitality.
Such a well-played fight by Vitality. Initiated with a teleport flank from Cabochard. Beautiful execution on all aspects. The right right target revived at the right time. There was counter engage from Vitality's Mighty Bear. Really good awareness. People were willing to sacrifice their life for the team at the right moments. What a beautifully executed team fight here from Vitality.
And they get themselves one tower, looking for another. Won't be quite enough.
Kasing buys the dust. Okay. There goes that
there's a flank here. Hold up. Move went Void Rush on this one. He finds Police. They stuck around way too long. Police is trying to step out of the Jhin ulti. Will dodge all the shots. Fancy feet enabled by Nuke Duck, but they did lose Kasing.
There's another teleport coming though here.
Prey Seeker.
Look at the background of this trading here. Double bomb, zones, and Mighty Bear slow down Exile here, who had Home Guard spark on his teleport. So really good awareness after Kasing's death. Slightly over eager here. This could have been ugly though if they executed the back end of this fight a little bit better with, you know, chasing skills like this Jhin ultimate and double TP. Unicorns could have really had a massive advantage. Right now, 2 are in the base. And this is a bold play here, but look at the zone. This is Zyra's kind of ballpark, you know. Yeah, snare into more snares. Zone from plants, but visit Chachi. Can't tank that Baron well enough. Zone from Vitality is enough to force them off.
And Nuke Duck did such a great job getting the bomb stuns down, letting the Baron be the 6th man on the team, or I guess in this case, the 4th, as they had 2 still rushing from the base. Baron was stopped, but let's take a look at how this all began.
I mean, Kawashar just finds the opening. Veritas should not be here. For one, you should always have backup from your team, and then move so much. And then this fight here, look at the amount of damage that Ilau is going to put out. I love this arrow too. Instant reaction here. The plans stop Mighty Bear's body slam. The ulti hits like 3 people up, so this looks really bad, but then the right selection here. Mighty Bear goes out of the fight, then go back in with body slam flash. If he doesn't make this move and actually disengages this fight, it will be likely lost pretty severely here by Vitality. But they just combine the Zillion ulti and the re-engage of their jungler so well to come out victors of the fight.
Yep, even with Unicorns grabbing a little bit back, they just weren't able to do enough. So this opens up not a massive lead, not a comfortable lead for Vitality, but they have map control for the minute. They're going to use it to try and get themselves a dragon. This would be their first Mountain Drake to get a little bit extra tower burn. We've seen what they've been able to do with just a few seconds time on. Still, have to be wary. The Rise is pushing in on the top side.
Yeah, open map, no teleports, which means the next Ash arrow could just instantly proc a Baron. Look at it. Police wanting to hide in bushes with vision denial. So if he can shoot it from Fog of War, any target he connects with could be a kill.
That tower's gone though. That will be the trade.
Yeah, but any lonesome creep can be a trigger for Kabashar to dash to, and then chain, and then arrow can come out here. That's what they're looking for.
Police is coming. Cabo's already got half his health gone though, and Exile, there's
arrow.
the arrow. It's gonna knock him. He's stunned up. Cabo.
Oh, he failed QSS.
Looking for the revenge. The QSS was not successfully popped. Exile, though, does burn his flash. Rune prisons Cabo. He's on the run.
Oh, you can definitely tell Exile was German, because that was a German ping QSS here. You see the arrow come in, and then you have like 40, 48 ping. That's when you just pop it, and it would have been an instant cleanse. But this time we're playing on local area network here. 8 ping. It was simply too early.
Only Challenger players will know.
Yeah, no,
a little difference.
You can buffer like spells because if you're so used to triggering like QSS on like a marginal amounts of delay, you just get out instantly out of that spell. But if you're playing on like 8 ping as opposed to 48, suddenly you waste your QSS right before, and you don't want to do that.
Oh yeah, big problem. So he burns it just a little bit too early. Does not pay with his life, but he does have to get a flash to get out of town. Vitality, when they pull the trigger, they don't stop coming. So Police with the Ash Arrow starting to show that you can go big with those picks, and now Move gets himself one of the Raptors, gets out of town. Vitality, it's still very close to even, in fact, exactly on the gold count, but Unicorns, they're the ones that have more towers. It's Vitality, however, that still have the map control for the time being.
Yeah, looking to capitalize on that every single time. Just arrows need to connect from Police here. Because these carries here from Unicorns of Blood, they're snowballing well into the late game, and we can't underestimate the damage that Hylissang can do in these fights.
Definitely can't underestimate it. Haunting Guy is picked up by him, still working his way towards the Leandri's Torment, and it starts to get real painful when those plants start pecking away without any contention. Unicorns, though, tenaciously pushing forward. Are they baiting themselves into the trap? Gragas around the side. Mighty Bear gets spotted out by Move.
Yeah, you can feel the tension right now in this game. Whereas last game's mid-game was so lackluster, lackadaisical with the 1-3-1 fighting the 4-1. Both these teams seem heavily gravitated towards the Baron area and very wary of how much that single objective can influence the scope of this game.
Oh, absolutely. considering how crucial it proved to be last time for Vitality. Both these teams definitely adapted a bit more, and it has been a bloodthirsty game on both sides. Mighty Bear dodging out of getting his soul yanked right out of his body yet again. Visit Chachi just been so annoying on this Alawi pick and so crucial to their counter engages.
Yeah, damage here in this brush for Unicorns of Love. Hillsang's already done 10,000 damage to champions. That is more than his AD carry Veritas.
Nuke Duck.
To use that.
He got.
He got, and he can't got Visit Chachi as good as he got, so Nuke has to run.
Well, they might get got gone in just a second. Another yoink. Chachi just keeps on irritating, keeps on haranguing.
Yeah, they're
Vitality
just
squad.
buying time, however. Look in the bot lane, Pyra. Cabochard split pushing away here, trying to make it so that Unicorns can't go for these Panic Barons. Gonna have to deal with him at least by some time. And then Police wants to strike with an arrow.
Setting up around the side. Move!
Oh, there's a lot of damage
Gets
here
the
from Cabochard's
knock-up.
ulti.
In comes Chachi, slams with the tentacle, yoinks the soul. But that's about all they'll get.
Yeah, Cabochard obviously has a lot of tenacity here too. Slippery folk, those Aurelia players.
Has even more movement speed, also enabled. The Dead Man's Plate, very tanky between Mighty Bear and Cabochard. Hard for them to really get taken down very easily. And, you know, contrast that with Unicorns. Obviously, Chachi is still very tanky himself, but the stats just quite aren't the same. It's really relying a little bit more on move in terms of items, and you can see the prioritization and not getting caught out too much. Not just one, but two QSSs on the side of Unicorns. Veritas and Exile do not want to get dove in that back line.
Yeah, versus Ashe, Karma, Snare even, and just the likes of Aurelia stun, so important to have.
As long as you hit it at the right time, that's for sure.
Yeah, you gotta use
Unless
your...
you burn your flash.
Step 1 is using actives. Step 2 is just using them at the right time. Here, 4 plant spawn. They just get renounced down.
Ah, the natural enemy of plants.
Yep, renounced hurricanes. It's as close to Pokemon as we get. Here, fire doesn't beat grass. It's wind instead.
Mows them all down. So, Vitality.
Look at the Strangler wards around the pit here. This is why Vitality is not getting any face checks that they want. There's a ward left and right side.
Arrow in.
Expire right now.
Oh, but Hilly, he goes in looking for Nuke Duck. They found him, but he has a Chrono Shift on, turning their attention over to Mighty Bear. They get the stuns up. Mighty Bear might be tanky, but not nearly enough. Lock him in Rune Prison, boys. No, he's broken out. Nuke Duck, though, he gets his spirit tested, and he's slowed down, has to clockwind himself back up to speed.
Yeah, because the Unicorns were partly focusing Nuke Duck, partly focusing Mighty Bear here. He gets a get out of jail free card, gets away, but so close on a turnaround on a fight that was marginally initiated by Hillsang on that Zyra.
Still, it opens up the opportunity for the Baron. They can contest it, though. Mighty Bear not here to get them off the Baron. They have to do it now, but it's burning too low, and it's gonna get smited down. Move takes it. Hillsang melts, though. Cabochard straight to his face. They look for Police, but he's chrono shifted, and now the Unicorns are clumped. Shut down, though. Exile manages to pick up Cabo. This fight's going nuts, and Mighty Bear finally arrives late to the party.
Late to the party, bombs come out here. That was a really good knockup from move. Arrow follows in here. Visit Chachiona back onto the fight, oversteps his boundaries just a little bit, but Unicorns, they get the spoils, they get the objective, and they walk away with the Baron buff.
They even get one kill, shutting down Cabochard despite losing their top laner and support. Vitality, though, they're going to look for, looks like another Drake on this, but Move is actually already back with Void Rush, seeing if they can fight them out here with the Baron Empowerment teleport coming in. Vitality just say, no way, Jose, we're out of here. See if they can get the escape. Mighty Bear has to throw the big barrel, but he's locked up yet again, and he's taken out by Exile.
Yeah, the back end of all these fights, Unicorns so decisive in their teleport usage. They announce it to their teammates, and then they start chasing seamlessly against nothing, and then you realize why they're doing this every single time, because there's another teleport here. Exile comes in, finishes the job. Really good synergy here. And honestly, this time, hesitation I wouldn't call it. Timing on the deadly flourish here from Veritas. And that was a really well-played series of events here by the Unicorns.
Yep, Move, he gets the zone out, pops the Randa wins, and he's caught up on the leash right now, but they're trading it for time on the tower. It's going low, but not as low as the health bar of Move. Mighty Bear still 10 seconds away. This is still a 4v4, but it is not one that Unicorns want to take. 34 minutes on the clock here, and we have not lacked for action this game. That is for damn sure.
Yeah, definitely liking these brutal games. I think we need more Zyras as kind of tributes, you know. We offer them to the Blood God, we get them killed a couple of times, but they still come out swinging because so much damage is done, and it's almost like a broken record. But even though Hillsang is 0-6 right now, look at the build he's pushing out. And at this point in the game, when you're this late in the game, yes, you one-shot the support, but look at the sidestep here, the turnaround. Look at how much work he's doing on his own. 3-man knockup too. You can't afford to use your cooldowns on a support. That's the whole thing. That's the whole premise of and the concept of why Zyra is so strong. If you ignore her, she will do so much damage to you. If you choose not to ignore her, you are now wasting valuable cooldowns in very rapidly paced fights on a support.
Yeah, he made himself look real tasty, and they snapped that trap, enabling the Baron. Of course, after the fact, still a little bit of a questionable back of the fight, but
yeah, he backs out too early. But look at Move here. He's holding his knockup, waiting for Cabochard to come in. Move is 5 full seconds in this fight, but he knows all he has to do is trade that for Cabochard's presence in the fight. So many Rek'Sais would just try and contribute, but he knows his exact role in this fight, which is the peel buff for Cabochard, and that is what turns the fight.
Yep, and Chachi unfortunately blew his flash at it.
Yeah,
you know what? Let's
not do that.
But apart from that, very successful move all across the board. 8-13 might be the kill count, but it has been Unicorn's game since that Baron. They control the map at the moment. Cabochard trying to push on the bottom. We still have teleports winding off cooldown, but Cabochard and Chachi's will be up very, very soon. For now, though, the attention is all on this mid second-tier turret that they traded Move's life for earlier. They'll finally cash in.
Yeah, Police looking for an arrow on Hylissang right now. QSS on both Veritas and Exile, as discussed earlier. Impossible to get Chachi down.
This is one of those games that is just... I want to say it's hard to call, and I'm not talking about like the whole game, I mean like the fights, because there is just such a ridiculous amount of things going on.
Yeah, there
are tentacles and plants and gin traps and bombs.
There's so much swing potential.
This is Super Smash Bros. With items on.
Yeah, definitely. There's so many influencing factors that you lose track of so easily. A couple of straight plants to a snare. Zillion revive, you know, the tentacles coming out, and Hylissang finally gets caught out.
Once again, but he does snap the trap on the plants. No one else to follow forward. Exile, though, they knock him right into the team, and will they take him out? Not before he dishes. Huge damage. Move was doing it too, but they did not secure the kills. Finally, Mighty Bear will go down. It's a double kill for Chachi as he finds Kasing. Cabochard, though, he's got a triple.
Cabo comes out swinging. He knows exactly when to strike on that Aurelia, and this was a grave positional error by Hylissang. You do not play on the front lines, not in this iteration of the game, not when late game, when all your carries have defensive answers to this arrow, and Police is just having the searchlight put on your booty. He was coming for you with the arrow, Hylissang. Don't go for it. Look at where he's positioning right here. You just can't afford to be this far up. Really good Sing, and it was just simply... yeah, too easy, and then the re-engage from Exile. This is an even bigger mistake. Your support's down, you don't go for a fight. You get the hell out of dodge here. Everybody gets baited in, suckered into this fight, trying to chase the loss here. Poor decision making by Unicorns.
Yeah. And the sad thing about it all is, he nearly got a double kill right after that. Cabochard, he's the one who chased and got himself a triple, but he started to rock and roll getting online on this Aurelia. Baron's going to be up in another minute and a half. Vitality has swung the game right around in their favor, even though the gold lead still says Unicorns. It's Vitality on the map.
Yeah, we have the Sterix Triforce combo combined with very tanky items. This is where Aurelia loves to be if she's slightly ahead of her opponents. Such a backline threat.
Not much they've been able to answer for. Vision control now is the Vitality priority.
Don't move, please. This is always like the T-Rex scene in Jurassic Park. Just don't move.
Not hesitating on that arrow, but this time it doesn't hit.
Oh, but he walks up anyways.
And Hylissang, he goes in once again, but this time he's bopped. Same result every time. It's madness.
Oh, Cabochard from the back with teleport.
Finds Veritas. QSS ain't gonna save you. Cabochard with a rampage. Unicorn's trying to respond, but Exile knocked right into the team. Does he have the damage to save the day? Chachi with all the tentacles. They might have just turned it around, but Police getting revived. Do they have it? Can they grab him? Justice Spirit. Nuke Duck still tossing bombs left and right. The Mighty Bear will live again. Shut down. Cabochard, that's the ace. And how messy was that? But a 4 for a 5 for just 1.
Yeah, 5 for 1 complete ace here. You almost got flustered. It was so close, Fire, to turn around here with the tentacles, but it just wasn't meant to be here. Vishichaji did his darndest best, but it wasn't enough. Another crucial misstep here. Hylissang, damage was there, but the final arrow spelling the nail in the coffin. 0, 9, and 5 on this Zyra.
Downsides of Zyra just so apparent. Vitality, they march forward, they take the victory. 2-0 at 40 minutes in over the Unicorns. think that expression says it all.
Yeah, you can see
Exhausted.
just the weight falling off their shoulders. They were really looking for his 2-0. Cheeky little high five there earlier between Mighty Bear and Cabochard. And the team can finally go for a huddle. Baguette.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
V for victory for Vitality today. They get themselves a well-earned, a hard-earned 2-0. The Unicorns were tenacious in both games of this series, but Vitality, they hung on. This one, it started to snowball with just getting those catches time and time again. Police was lobbing the arrows.
Yeah, and there was so much to gain for both these teams in the standings here. Really want to break out of the bottom of the pack here. A 3-pointer, so important for either of them. Unicorns lose that option now. They see Origin as a direct competitor move away from them 3 points. They see Vitality as a direct competitor move away from them 3 points. They are now in sole position of last place.
That is definitely not where you want to be at any time in this split, but when it starts to matter, halfway through week 3, so many games to play, and really it just came down to a couple of inches. We got to look at some of those plays, really where things started to slip away from them, but even in the positive, the Baron play to start things off was just such a big turning point.
Yeah, this entire series was just focused around Baron here, and this is, you know, slight misstep by Hylissang on the back end of the play here. Wants to zone out of the bomb. This was a close one at the end of the game, where I think Unicorns of Love did a good job disengaging at the end of the fight. I loved what Move did with his Rek'Sai knockup, and Baron was just such a big part of this fight. And I think it's very important that teams really learn how to deal with it. Vizicachi, the aggressive flasher, should have been defensive, obviously. But it's so important that teams know how to posture around Baron, because something that happened in that first game is just not allowed to happen. You can't just all base and lose the Baron. Like, guys, this is...
You got to learn.
This day and age, that's
Yeah.
not allowed anymore. You should always factor that in.
LCS teams these days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It was...
the level was higher, though, than I expected.
Yes,
'Cause
these teams made it very close. They made it very back and forth, but they didn't stumble as much.
No.
That's for sure.
There's an interview, Pyra.
There is. Let's take a look. Quick shot.
Apparently.
He's standing by with Nuke Duck.
Thank you very much, Crepo, seeing that one on the ball. First of all, congratulations, Nuke 2-0. 3 points for Vitality. As an observer, it felt like Unicorns gave you guys a tougher challenge than maybe I was expecting. Is that something that caught you guys off guard as well, and maybe why was the game so close?
We got a practice, a new way of playing, kind of. And we tried doing that both those games now. And their rise on side lane was just really strong in early mid-game. So I mean, we didn't like deal with it maybe as good as we could have. So just a combination of maybe their comp being really strong early game and yeah, us playing not perfectly.
Yeah, it seemed to be a little bit messy around the sides. Is that because you do have this like rotating AD carry? How was it playing with Rhea and Police in that regard?
Well, it doesn't really matter that much. I think like both of them are really good mechanically. And Ray has the problem that he's not that experienced, and Police has the problem that he doesn't understand English that much. So it's both like, it's kind of the same thing, either one. Yeah.
Is that maybe why Vitality's been a little bit slow to start the summer? You know, losing some games here and there. And there's still high expectations for the team because of the caliber of the players, of yourself and the squad mates. So what is the reason for that slow start?
We're just trying to build a whole new team, I think. It's really like, we have so many problems and we're just trying to work on them. I don't expect us to do like super well like anytime soon. Like we need to work more, way more, yeah.
It's nice to hear like a level of honesty and working through the problems. Let's step away from the team and from the game. As a mid laner, mid lane meta got a big shake up the last couple of patches. We're seeing some really fun picks back in the mid lane. There was Karmas, Zillions, etc. What do you think of some of the picks in the mid lane, and is it refreshing to play?
It's pretty refreshing. There's some new stuff, like the new Vladimir is pretty interesting, and yeah, I mean the meta is just like more maybe control mage based, and it will be even more so after the next patch just comes out. So I guess it's a bit refreshing, but it's kind of the same as last year in terms of the mid meta.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch. So once again, congratulations on the 2-0 and the 3 points. Best of luck with tomorrow's games. For now, we're going to head back to the cast desk to wrap up the series.
Thanks very much, Quick Shot. Insightful stuff from
Yeah.
Nuke. Yeah, and well, we got to look at another player, zero in once again on Cabochard, who's our player of the game. I guess at this point, he's the man of the match.
Oh yeah, in true Euro Cup fashion, I guess if you're gonna go for that terminology, series match game.
They all mean the
It's
same
all-
thing except for game.
Except for game.
One of
Game-
these is not
game
like
is,
the other.
yeah, one of these
We're
is not
clearing
like
the
other.
air of all that. But Cabochard had such a massive performance across the entire series. It was so critical, and they didn't take the Aurelia away from him. He seems so much more comfortable back in the carry meta.
I mean, he had the spotlight. Let's not forget this is a team game, and any player achieving man of or player man of the match, player of the game or player of the series, if he wins both of them, is down to teamwork. I think Nuke Dog, the person in the interview right there, played a large part of all this, just reviving the key targets. Police set up, but he was the finisher. You know, he was the one that swung the door open with a couple key teleports.
Yeah.
And I think he definitely deserves it.
Absolutely, and everyone had a role to play, but he definitely likes to do that flashy style. It just seems so much more comfortable for a team like Vitality. Now, before we go ahead and head over to break, we want to take a minute to update you guys on what's happening over on EU LCS 2. H2K, they took Game 1 off G2, and they're currently getting Game 2 underway. That's definitely starting to heat up. And we've got one more match to play out here in the arena on EU LCS 1. When we return, it's Splice versus Giants, so don't go anywhere.
What is the taco?
Taco?
Name of the food?
Yes.
Yes. Actually, taco is Mexican food?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know.
Veritas is going to have to burn Bravo, Blade Church, Summoner Heal, not enough. First blood over to Police. He does do a lot of damage to Cabochard, but he tags in to Mighty Bear and Shunty, the long-range tentacle.
Kill Rise?
Yeah.
I'm still in the first.
I stun maybe.
Rise. Ilaoi! China!
Oh,
Nice!
Cabochard with a rampage. Unicorn's trying to respond, but Exile knocked right into the team. Does he have the damage to save the day? Shunty with all the tentacles. Vitality, they march forward. They take the victory. 2-0 at 40 minutes in over the Unicorns.